Oh man, what a day. I don't have to review any fanfics and I can finally recover slightly from the insanity that I've been
Hello, fanfic critic.
Hello?
These stories will, no doubt, be the most offensive, insane things you have ever put on your show. Worse than I Kill Faggots and Sin Dragon. Welcome to the world of ComicsNix.
ComicsNix? What the hell are you talking about?
You may remember ComicsNix from the last Masterpiece Fanfic Theater as the writer of the Wolfblood lineage. TWBL is one of his tamest stories. These three fanfics are some of his very worst. Let's get started, shall we? Your first fanfic is a Harry Potter romantic crossover starring Snape. What is it crossing over with? The answer is Teletubbies.
Hello? Okay, what's this PM from R1ing Master J5? Oh. It's the fanfics mentioned by that weird random voice. I guess that weird random voice was R1 Master J5. Huh. Well, seeing you guys are here... Well, seeing you guys are here and I'm here, conveniently dressed up as the fanfic critic, I guess I have no choice but to do this challenge from that weird random voice. Okay, let's get this over with. Here's the fanfiction.net info for the first story I have to take a look at. It's a crossover with Harry Potter and Teletubbies. It's rated M, it's in English, it's romance tragedy, and it has one chapter. And it has over 2,000 words. It doesn't say what the story is called, but all I know is that the author is ComicsNix. Let's begin. The author. Hi people, I don't own Harry Potter and Teletubbies, but I think J.K. Rowling, you forgot the O in Raleigh, you bubblehead, must think about doing a crossover. It would be very cool. No, it wouldn't. Severus Snape, professor and lover. Severus Snape was very sad. He was not having many pleasures doing lectures, don't you mean lectures, you forgot the R, and teaching students, don't you mean students? You need the D in there, duh, anymore. All those adventures happening at Hogwarts sucked the inner life from his bones, and he had nothing more to accomplish. He went to Dumbledore, and they spelled Dumbledore wrong, they're missing an E. Hiad Mastet. Don't you mean headmaster? I want to be expelled. You're a professor. You can't be expelled. You can be fired, but you can't be expelled. You see, if you were to be expelled, that would mean you were a student, and you're not a student. I don't have what it takes to teach anymore. Dumbledore was puzzled. But Snepa, don't you mean Snape? You are my best professor. You can't go and waste the knowledge day you have. Don't you mean knowledge? Oh, Dumbledore, I'm so sad, said Snape, putting the back of his hand on his forehead. Dumbledore, again they spelled it wrong, the powerful and wiseful magus he was, they have two W's in was, which you don't need, thought a solution. Shouldn't it say thought of a solution? Okay, Snape, I'll transfer you to another place, somewhere calm, where you will help good creatures that have N-O parents. Snape got grateful. You spelled grateful wrong. That Dumbledore That Dumbledore? That Dumbledore? First of all, you need to separate that and Dumbledore with a space. And secondly, you spelled Dumbledore wrong. Understood his feelings and pushed him to place less wondrous to his advancing age. Snape took a train and after days finally reached an colorful, don't you mean colorful and wonderful place. It was Tubby Dome Supertronic, the place of What the heck is that word supposed to be? Dwelling of his new students. He reached there, and a periscopic welcomed him. Professor Snape, you arrived. The students waits you in the classroom. What is this, Elmer Fudd speaking? Snape was still sad, but his powerful stomach got chills because the mystery of novelty approaches his comfort zone. I'm not going to bother pointing out all the grammar mistakes because it seems like I keep on stumbling across them. When Snape entered the classroom, 4 color creatures were there seating on the chairs. Don't you mean sitting on the chairs? They said to Snape, "Uh-oh," and Snape smiled, don't you mean smiled, feeling his heart get full of ignominious passion. All right, dear students, today you will learn potion making. No, we want to learn how to be adult, cried the 4 Teletubbies. They had lived for many long inside that perfect bubble. Lived for many long what? Many long alligators? Many long things of soda? Many long years, maybe? Is that what you mean by that? Only experimenting the baby joys of youth. But every day was equal to them. Not really happened at their house and life was boring. Shouldn't it say not really a lot, or not a lot happened at their house, or not really? Just don't have it say not really happened, because that doesn't make any sense. When Snape arrived, a flash of hope filled their hearts with the promise of life beyond the perfect prison they got trapped when they got born. Only the dark-robed and pale-skinned man can save the babies from this terrible fate. But kids, said Severus, I must accomplish the curriculum. Oh, Professor, I'm dying from the inside. Don't let the evil periscopic, or I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but suck the last remnants of humanity locked in my so fatal broken heart. Said the yellow Teletubby Lala with a sensitive voice calling for a strong man to free her mind, her body. Snape looked at her and felt something funny inside his pelvis. It was a long time since the last time he shared an intimacy-filled moment with a woman. Snape was starting to break. But Teletubbies, if the periscope woman watches us, how can we have privacy? The purple leader, Tinky Winky, got up and uttered with his powerful throat, I have a secret place, Professor. We can learn there and free ourselves, or ourselves, they forgot the R in ourselves, from the bounds of madness that others inflicted upon us. Said him, shouldn't it say he said, hitting his chest with clenched hands. What is he? King Kong? Snape looked down, thought, and followed the purple leader. They opened a secret door inside their house, a door leading to the basement. The place was full of rats and cockroaches. Water infiltrated the place and mold smell was present in dangerous quantities. A lot of earth and dirty was covering the place. A lot of earth and dirty? Are you serious? It should just say a lot of earth covered the place, or was covering the place. Get rid of the word dirty. And a hole in the wall could be seen. You are making a hole. Yes, Snape, said Tinky Winky. We must escape. So we are creating an exit. Don't you mean an exit route? Now would be a good time to use the word and. To get out of the evil crunches of the woman periscope. Oh, I must help you Teletubbies. Professor, said Lala, first teach us how to adult. Shouldn't I say how to be an adult? Snape nodded in agreement. Don't you mean nodded? He, they forgot the I in with, his wondrous magic wand created a giant bed and some wine and cheese to accompany, they spelled accompany wrong, this illustrious wisdom moment. Oh boy. Teletubbies, lay her with me. I'll teach you how to be a man. Oh, but you, Pooh, aren't ready yet. You are too young, baby. Stay here in the corner and play with your small hose. And Pooh got sad, but nevertheless, he did what Snape said and watched the others while they got teached. So, said Snap. They must be taking lessons from the writer of My Immortal. Lala, you make a pair with me. Tinky Winky, you go with Dipsy. Watch me while I play with Lala and mimic my movements. This way you will learn. Snape then got on his knees and looked at the laid Lala. She was sweating a bit. Don't be afraid, small yellow girl, just spread your legs. And she did. An engorged vagina shine at her crotch, but it was full of cotton yellow pubic hair. Snape picked up a scissor and cut it. Scissors, you know, scissors. The word scissors is always going to be plural because it's, you know, two of them. If it's just one scissor, you'd only have like half the blade. Snape, said Dipsy, Tinky Winky have no crotch mouth but a very strange tongue. It's filled with purple wrinkled skin. Oh, Dipsy, he don't have crotch mouth, but behind him you will find a pork's eye. Don't be afraid, it's dirty, but after a while you will like the fine flavor of melted chocolate covering your lips. I am sorry, it may be brown, but I highly doubt shit tastes like chocolate. It certainly doesn't smell like chocolate. Dipsy turned Tinky Winky, and the purple Teletubby revealed his deep purple anal hole. What I do? Asked Dippy. The same I do with Lala. Don't be afraid. Tinky Winky will scream and moan, but you must go on, said Snape with a calm and soft, full, deep voice. Oh, Professor, said Lala in a moaning, lustful voice. You spelled voice wrong. I think I peed myself. I'm feeling moist. No, Lala, you not pee. You are only happy that I'm here. Seriously? Yes. Now, suck my index finger. And she did. And Snape unclothed himself. His pale, shiny penis appeared, and all of the Teletubbies got impressed. His nutsack was very white and hairy and exhaled snake oil perfume essence. He spelled perfume wrong. Lala felt a jolt of pleasure down her antenna. Now, boys, do as I do, and them, don't you mean then, Snape introduced his wizard wondrous penis inside Lala. She screamed, "Ah!" and a flush of yellow blood got expelled from her now broken hymen. The yellow blood-covered snake, I guess he's a snake now, and he rubbed himself with that sticky liquid. Professor, moaned Lally Lala. Isn't this wrong? I'm feeling so dirty. No, Lala, don't be ashamed. When you bit the forbidden fruit, the knowledge will fulfill you most inner desires. Be my Eve. And Snape punched her uterus with his Roquefort penis. The Teletubby girl moans more and smiles her face. Dipsy, do the same on Tinky Wonky. I thought his name was Tinky Winky. Puncturing the purple asshole with the green penis he is so proud of. Tinky Winky screams, "Ah, you hurt me, my dear friend. Stop. I cannot withstand your protuberant obelisk of delectation. I don't know. I can't," said Dipsy with a condescending voice. Professor said I must go on with our journey throughout the steps toward a greater understanding about our true nature and alienate species from our parenthood. Tinky Winky was suffering the destiny of those under the yoke of their own expectations, but Snape was wise and appealed. Dipsy, use your bodily fluids to appease the sorrow of your roost companion. Dipsy then spit on his hand an immense glob of putrid mucus. It was green as his body and full of dancing crawlers that were enjoying the hot abode that was his nostrils. Dipsy covered his fluffy hard penis with it and penetrated Tinky Winky again. This time the purple one enjoyed it. Snape was funking, don't you mean fucking, hard Lala. A lot of yellow blood continued to get on her defilled vagina Daisy. The pain hurted her much, Professro. It aches my skin and negates the masturbation you unleash inside my sacred womb. Be calm, my yellow student. After a while, no pain can touch you. Wait the massage of gods. And she did. After a while, the orgasm started, and she had multiple ones. Her chest grew a pair of Xanthus breasts, and they lactated the nectar of the houses of holy. Are you implying to me that because she's having sex for the first time, she suddenly grew a pair of boobs? That's not how puberty works! That is not how puberty works! That is not! That is not! That is not! Wow! You fail! You seriously fail! But she wasn't in her mature years yet, as her bowel controls were rudimentary. The orgasms unleashed a cataract of pappy hot shit through her untouched letless anus. The slop of dung covered the bed, and the smell was atrocious. The flow was so intense, globs of shit splashed at Snape's pale legs and hit his pale and sweet face. Oh, Lala, said Snape. Finally, the cocoa honey bestow us with this feast of gourmandized guts contents. And Snape rubbed his face with the black-featured hodgepodge ooze Lala had vomited with her anus. It was so hot and disgusting that Snape vomited a mash of orange juice, bloody spaghetti, and Mama's chili pepper over her lustful body. It reached Lala's vagina. Don't you mean Lala's vagina, possessive, please, with an apostrophe S? And burned it and splashed all over her tummy. She rubbed the vomit all over her belly and breasts and swallowed a good portion of it. Lala is happy. She reached a new stage of illumination and now can let go her shame of being the mistress of a snake old man. Dipsy took a portion of that hot boiling dung and deposited it inside Tinky Winky's anus. Now the penetration is complete. They are enjoying the most complete recollection of humans' past lives as beings dipping inside their own bodily properties. Snape, said Lala, can I penetrate you too? Snape got pensive. He never thought about something so insulting to his manhood, but the pleasure was so insane he nuded with a moan, yes, and Lala prepared her finger full of vomit and macaroni strings. She moved slowly her index finger and prepared to penetrate it, and she did. The finger entered Snape's left nostril and started to fuck it. She is picking his nose. That is what she is doing. How is that pleasurable? She was fast and didn't want to lose time. As Lala fucked Snape's nose, the vomit in her nails entered it and he breathed it in. He gagged and coughed the bloody puke and it hit Lala's eyes, but she laughed. Lala then put her other index finger inside the other Snape nostril and he felt the pleasure more intense. So what, is his nostrils like miniature vaginas or something? Lala's tits lactated like no other in the world, like a fountain of milk and passionate dung. Having sex does not cause you to lactate. You want to know why people lactate? It's because they have babies and they need to feed their babies with their milk. It's not like a cow where you can squeeze it and milk comes out. No, you have to be a child. Or more like after you have a child. But you get the idea. The milk and shit shower was so intense it reached Pooh, that was at a corner masturbating the whole scene. He drank the shitty covered milk and peed himself in pleasure. Even a small Teletubby had the right to feel the magnificent joy of the motherly nourishment coming from his sister's breasts. Now Snape is ready to come. He grabs his penis and felt the throbbing coming, and then the cumtastic delight goes out his powerful snake hose and fills Lala's small vagina with a gorgeous and thunder-striking goo that overflows her and washes the last pureness that yellow and sexy body had one day. She comes to, and now she is a comfortable FL, a yellow and tasty alien woman girl with nice and softy cotton breasts. Her Teletubby body got gorgeously tasty, and even her brothers think she is delicious now that she have breasts. Dipsy comes inside Tinky Winky too, and the two cotton alien boys now discover what it takes to make a real action hero. Boys, says Snape, you have graduated. You are now full-fledged, mature, and responsible adults. You can take care of your own butts and do with it all you deserve. Pooh was a little sad, but her time will come. Wait a second. I thought that, isn't Pooh a man? So did Pooh suddenly have a sex change? Snape, said Tinky Winky, rubbing his cum-covered and hurting ass. We must escape. The periscope woman is already searching for us because we haven't returned to sleep. Okay, Tinky Winky, you lead the way. And the Teletubbies and Snape lead Tinky Winky's down the hole they excavated. The cave was very dark and long, but Snape used his wand to illuminate the way. As they walked down the cave, a light at the end of the tunnel was near, and they raced towards it, but someone was expecting them. A figure was facing the cave, with his back turned against the light out the tunnel. You shall not pass, said the voice. Who are you? Asked Jed Snape. I am very disappointed with you, Snape. I thought you had a rocky shadow heart, but it seems I'm wrong. It was a mistake sending you here to placate these little rainbow bastards. A mistake I'm going to correct. Wait, I know that voice. It's, then, the figure emerges from the light, creating a flowing flame around him, and his face is revealed. It's Dumbledore. No, you, shouted Snape. Yes, me. Why do you want with the Teletubbies? Don't you mean what? Oh, you don't know? They are Death Eaters, Snape. We must kill them. What? Death Eaters? That's impossible. No, said Tinky Winky. It's true. We worked to Voldemort. Don't you mean we worked for Voldemort and you spelled Voldemort wrong? Snape got odd. No. Why? Voldemort promised that he would free our homeland from the Dementor's horde invasion. But as we worked for him and infiltrated inside Hogwarts, Dumbledore caught us. Now he absorbs our energies to fuel his mecha bulldozer that— Shut the fuck up, cried Dumbledore. You now will die. What the hell? No, I will not permit, said Snape. He created a strong bond with those aliens and he can't let them die, even if they are working for the enemy. So, said Dumbledore, you will die too, and Dumbledore invoked the killing spell from his wand. But them, Yinky Winky, from the bottom of his purse, pulled out a Colt 45 revolver and shot Dumbledore, but the wizard deflected the bullet. Ha, you cannot kill me. Snape, go. I saved the Teletubbies. I'll buy you time, cried Tinky Winky. No, shout Lala, we can't let you die here. But you must, or he'll kill us all and no one can save our homeland. And the Tinky Winky advanced in the Dumbledore's direction, shooting rapid bullets at him. Snape used his wand and started to drill a hole in the cave, circumventing the vicious battle happening near the entrance. Snape and the Teletubbies managed to drill another hole out some feet away from the confrontation and go out of the cave. They raced away from it. At some distance, they saw Tinky Winky shooting Dumbledore. Dumbledore, cried Tinky Winky. He picked up a hand grenade, pulled the pin and threw it at Dumbledore and shouted, Die, bastard! No! And the cave exploded, launching debris all over the place. Fast, Teletubbies, said Snape. Hide, and they did. A lot of rock fell from the sky and fumes and dust covered everywhere. Tinky Winky! Cried the three Teletubbies, and Lala tried to run and find her purple brother, but Snape prevented. No, you can't. This place is unstable. We will die staying here, cried Snape. And the earth started to shake. They raced away from the crumbly Tubbydrome Supertronic, avoiding the falling rocks and the poison flower that attacked them. After a while, they reached a safe haven. Lala was very sad and crying much. Why? Why we let him die, Snape? Oh, Lala, he saved us, and was his desire that we escaped. But it's not fair. I know, said Snape, hugged Lala. And the other Teletubbies did it too. Now these four heroes must find a way to save the Teletubby planet from the horde of Dementors that are trying to invade and conquer the place, slaving all the millions of Teletubby inhabitants. Who is behind all of this? Is Voldemort involved? And Snape and Lala? Will they be together till the end? Snape says, Lala, I promise we will avenge your brother. The end? Well, that was probably the weirdest thing I have ever read.
That was interesting, wasn't it, Critic? Your next fanfic is absolutely bat-crap insane. Time to take the trip of lust in this Scooby-Doo fanfic. Note, includes bestiality.
And it's there. Just like the other one. Let's take a look at the fanfiction.net info. It's a Scooby-Doo fanfic. Again, it doesn't say what the title is. It's rated M, it's in English, it's friendship adventure. It has over 4,000 words and 17 reviews. Let's get this over with. The author. Hi people, long time, ain't it? This story is my first action romance flick since Batman in the Bowels of Hell. I did a lot of romance and drama stories lately, but I wanted to return to some action. Hope you like it, and there will be more on the way. Enjoy. Scooby-Doo and the Trip of Lust. That was a cloud and stormy night. There There's so much wrong with that sentence. It should say it was a dark and stormy night. The Scooby-Doo's mysterious ink car was moving at slow sped because there were bananas in the street. Rain was pouring down knives of water in shape of diamonds because that land was new to then. Yes, it was Kingston City in Jamaica Island, the earth of Bob Marley and Stevie Wonder. They were there in a trip of holiday. The Mystery Inc. got plenty of money latery because of recent voodoo attacks in New Jersey, so with money they got to Jamaica. This day in particular is special. It's the Mardi Gras Carnival in Kingston, so our heroes are going there to party and see cleavages of women. Skeeb is especially happy because now he is in another country so he can abuse other women without being arrested. Fred was driving the van. Daphne was at his right side and Velma at Daph's side. Scorboo and Shoggy were in the back of the van. "Hey Scoob, do you want to skeeb snarks?" asked Shaggy in the moving van to the big Dutch dog named Scooby-Doo. No, the dog's name is Cujo. "Yada yada, do I want it, old pal?" answers Felicity the dog with shaking rabies in his butt. What? "There, eat all the boobies, snark shaker. You deserve it." And Shaggy throws the knacks to Scooby mouth because it's a reward for eating evil voodoo priest in Old Jersey. As the car moves, Fred can't help but feel pain in the butt. "Daphne, could you please scratch my buttocks? They itch." Daphne looked Fred's pants and saw he was horny, so she negated. She looked Fred's pants? What do you mean? Was she like glancing at his crotch area and saw that he was popping a tent? Or did she literally rip his pants open to see if he had an erection or not? "No, you don't deserve my attention. Your intentions are bad shaped," she said, and she put herself to rest. Daphne got very prissy lately. After doing her second abortion, she knew her life had to change, and the first to go was Freddie casual sex she had with him. She couldn't really have sure if he was the father of her 2 aborted babies because Freddie slept with many women. What sense does that make? If he is the only guy she has been sleeping with, of course he's going to be the father of her aborted babies. It would make more sense if she said that she wasn't sure if he was the father because she has slept with other men. But that's not what you stated. "Oh, Fred," said Velma, the hot chicken in black flamed glasses, "let me help you," and she moved her hand to appease Fred's pain. "No," cried the blonde Boy Scout, slapping the nerdy girl's hand with his pale nail-crusted fingers. Velma became utterly sad. She always have been the black canary of the group. Always ignored, always chit-chatted in the back. If Daphne spoiled the plan, who got the poop in the face? Velma. If the villain scapade, who let him go? Veluma. It was always her, the mistreated, the butt sect. No one gave a shits to her, so she vomited in her legs. "Arg," cries Daphne, disgusted with the puke that spilled inside her mouth. "Damnation, Velma, you did it again. Now the car will smell like ostrich arses." So what, is she British now? Cries the impotent Fred, almost losing control of the car, to the will of bed smell. Vomit splashed all over Velma's lap, her breasts, the grouge, Daphne's titties, and Fred's boobies. So is Fred a transvestite now? Shaggy and Scoob, that were smoking a crack in the back of the van, stood up to look. They laughed. Ha 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 ha! You three got really fucked up there in the front. Won't you bastards, says Shaggy, with Scoob slobbering in the vision of that delicious pool of steaming rotten vomit on Velma's lap. The puke flew fried chicken from yesterday was all a mishmashed with werewolf cum because Velma got raped by one last month. What? Werewolf cum usually stays forever in the stomach of the blowjobber after a bad suck night, but because werewolves are allergic to hormone-injected chicken, the cum got out. What sense does that make? Damn Shagoo, could you at least help us here, says Freddy, who got vomit splashed on his mouldy hair. He uses a dreadlock now, so he won't wash it, and the hair rusted, turning red. But didn't you state earlier that he was blonde? So if he now has red hair, he wouldn't be a blonde. He'd have red hair. Hello? Stay consistent. Okay, says Shaggy. Scooby, you know what to do. And Scooby jumped in the front seat over Velma's lap. Oh, you stepped on my pussy, you retarded dog, cried Velma, punching the Dalmatian on the nose. Scooby-Doo is not a bloody Dalmatian, you idiot. He sneezed, and snot filled on her face. Okay, Scooby, now, show your balls got big, said Shaggy, and Scooby started to lick and swallow the puddle of vermin-infested vomit on Velma's lap. He ate it on her pullover sweaty, then on the pale stocking-covered legs. Then he moved to the pussy. Why, stop, Scoobs, you will lick my hymen. But Scooby didn't heed. He continued till he found her shinny panties of nerdy hot glasses poultry girl. It was very sad that the puke excrement entered the pussy, and that piece of undergarment was in the way, so Scooby prepared his jaw and knack. He slaughtered the panties with one bite. Sadly for Velma, he savaged her vagina, plucking her labora major from its place, exposing raw tumor-filled flesh to the marijuana-infested air. But the hymen is still intact, and that's all that matters. Wait a minute, since when am I British? Sorry about that. God damn it, Scooby. What the shit fuck did you? Or you did? Cried Ferd, very gallowed in maggots that grew inside his rat nests he calls hair. Fred is getting very tired and the fuel on his car is reaching its final limit. If they don't reach Kingston till the night, rude boys will fuck their arses with bamboo pipes. Scooby actually, with all that licking and sniffing, really started to feel something different in his body. He never felt like that because he never approached a woman so nearer before, and he is virgin too. The voyages and tribulations with the gang have been cruel to his natural emotions. Can't stand in one place, grow a family, raise kids, always running from ghosts, debunking charlatanian cocaine inhalers, and having to watch the same old bullshit Penn and Teller reruns. Life ain't easy for that sheep hunter, it never was. His loyalty to Shaggy was what maintained his instincts quietly in place of elves, never boner acquiring and never humping good high-heeled bare lady legs. But after these events told here by you, by me, myself, his animalistic-sized aperture dong woke up. The first signs of inner life inside that old swinging dick rising up, and the blood clots started to flow inside his vein-filled and marred penis. Arf, arf, barks Scorbs. Velma, your pussy smell like macaroni. And Scooby started to lick it profoundly, mixing his sloobed spit with tumor-tainted blood, chicken-filled vomit, and carnivorous fetid gonorrhea that emerged from Velma's pulsating vulva. Daphne was shocked. That bestial animality was so utter disgusting that her old psychic wounds have reopened again, to torment and playing with her lubricous mind. She moved her puke-covered right hand to her vagina and started to masturbate, or else she would snap and all the treatment she's been doing would get canceled. Results. To help with the masturbation, because she don't want to lust over Scooby because he is friend, Daphne grabs an issue of Playgirl starring Stevie Buscemi. Fred kept driving because it was stormy night, and if he looks the sex, the car crashes, so he masturbates mentally. Meanwhile, Velma, visibly distraught, mutters and howls with a Sarah-Roan loud voice, "Stop it, Scoobies, you'll unvirgin me. I'm keeping my hymen to my first boyfriend, but she don't have any." Stop. After some licks, Scooby stopped. He felt bad taste in his mouth. Velma don't clean pussy 'cause it's against religion. No, I promised Susan I wouldn't do that again. Oh, Scorbus, said Velma, moaning like a koala. Thank Gord you stopped. I was starting to like it, and it's not good to our friendship. Scooby agrees, so he lifted his penis and inserted full frontal inside Velma's moronic vagina. Args, she cries as a ball of pubic hair gets inserted inside her. She don't shave, so it accumulates and get forest. The Scooby Dong's penis. Okay, dong is another word for penis, so pretty much what it says here is the Scooby penis's penis. So his penis has a penis, pretty much. Is erectile and goes in and out of Velma, putting an end to her Virgin Mary sex with pagan prince, but the ass is intact. As the bats of blood get expelled from Velma's violated vagina, Shaggy gets a boner. He pulls down his panties, so he wears panties like a woman, revealing the moistened maroon cock. Maybe he should have that checked out. I don't think it's supposed to be that color. He prepares himself because he wants to participate in the polyamorous frugal party. So the configuration to this, Fred driving, Daphne masturbating to his right, Velma being penetrated by Scooby to Daphne's right. Shaggy decides to jump in the front seat because he's tall. He opens the top of the van ceiling, turning into convertible. So he rubs his cock a bit to get it warm and ready, picks a pot cigarette and crawl a bit. He then dips his cigarette inside Velma's virginity blood and then lights it. Tasty. And then, ready to go, he shoves his protuberous cock inside Scooby's mouth. The Dutch dog is gotten with surprise, but he likes a lot and licks and sucks with very deliciously. Shaggy then seats on Velma's face because he is tired and his butt needs rest. Velma is a bit concerned and loses a bit of breath. She screams to Shaggy in a stuffy voice, "Damn, Shaggy, I'm suffocating." And Shaggy hears, because he is a fartist, one who have complete control over his bowel movements. He starts to expel fresh fluid farts over Velma's face, so now she can breathe. You cannot substitute farting for oxygen! You fucking idiot! Thanks, Velma. Now she can enjoy Scooby's cray overridden penis and Shaggy pimple-covered butt-farting ass. even though Velma's neck is getting pressed by the heavy and pot Shaggy's body, he is the one who suffers because he must be arced so Scooby can suck his dick without having to flex the neck muscles too much. A martyr one must have / for the dick he shall lead, already said the old poet Ron Jeremy. Velma, are you okay? Asked Fred, who was getting very needy this moment. It's ironic how a mere moment ago he was the fuck-it-all stallion who debauched and belittled the shy, big-booty, blessed Velma Dickley, and now the payback is strong, and the pretty pity boy now gets sensitively lonely in the dark corner of the car's driver's gets after a night of beer and bones. However, every ills comes to an good because being ignored in a democracy of lust often leads the man to seek his surroundings, and that's what he do, because in that cold cloud night through the rearview mirrors, Fred sees and movement and noise. Brum! Like a howling were-cow in the sun-bathed lone candy shop. Fred squeezes his eyes to see who it was, and then, oh no, my falling God. Damn, the Rudy boy, screams Fred's. Everyone getting in the fuckery gets alarmed. Shaggy promptly shoots. Fast, Scooby, shoot, come in their engines, but Velma intervened. Shaggy, cum shot does not work that way, but she turned her head again to the inside of Shaggy's butt. The only position of all three aren't many comfortable because the road have so many holes, so every bump in the car does. Scooby does a bite on Shaggy's dong, who spurs blood of cafeteria. Velma, on the oyster hand, must stand with her neck in the Shaggy butt way, but she already knew the life of a wife is not simple. What? So are they now married? Good blowjobbers have strong necks. Yo mama dude, stop that car and give us that asses, cries on of the miscreants. They wear in number of fivel, 2 on one motor bicycle, 2 in the other placid running donkey jackass, and the leader, the one who screamed, on a monocycle because real leaders must show manhood. All of them had Marley lockers, very filled with pinky red flowers. They wear the Cotton Rudy gang, the most dangerous criminalia scum of the new Jamaican. They raped mannequins, defiled old middle-class grannies, and parked at disabled parking bays. They start to shoot maggots. Ah, screamed Daphne, while the maggots penetrate her nipples through the Milky Way. Fred, you must do something. And he does. He looks profoundly at the road ahead. It's a dirt-very one, full of dirty and molten earth, like the countryside of Sicilia. By both sides of the van, there is glasses, very tall and grand, full of lusting moths of cicerone. He thinks very rapidly to not let get out the change. But the Rudy boys and the motor bicycle say jumps on the van, and they have bamboo pipes. Fred, with fastly movements, drifts then van and make dangerously movement with car to throw Mad Rudy in the road, but they have for hands. The Rudies start to flow their own poo at the gang, contaminated with AIDS. Fast Scooby blow the shit, and Scooby blow the flying bowel molasses with his powerful lungs on the 2 Rudy faces. The dung splashes on both criminals' porky noses, and they falls on the ground and explodes in a million of homogeneous venereal diseases. Holy golly, there's more o' them. And now it's time for the ones in the running jackass camel. The camel gets to stomp by the side of the van to take then off the road. Jaggers, cries Freds, with much destiny in his hands and losing control of the suffering Mystery Inc. van. With all that movement, Scooby snakes and jaw closes on Shaggy's penis, almost amputating his manhood. But Shaggy is a hippie, so the power of rock saves him. What? Daphne is still master boatin', and with all the bumps and crashes on the car, she inserts a whole hand inside the vagina, but the pussy is okay because she trimmed her woman nails. Velma is the one suffering most abuse, mainly caused by Shaggy's bursting ass pimples. The mucus of those ripe, round, floppy skin diseases gets entered her eyeballs and start tainting her black framed glasses. It will need a polish, but not from Charlie Goldman. The car is almost getting out of the road. Fred is having a hard time to control the vehicle. It keeps skidding on the cannabis plantation that covers the Manasentful country, but the gang's letter keeps the strong arms on the wells. He knows how to deal with unexpected situation. In an act of viral masculinity, Fred moves the well faster and knock the camel's toes, performing a femoral bones from its head. The camel falls on the ground and goes on a spinning like Mad Mary and throws the two Rudy ones on the van. This time Scooby is the one to act, and he slaps both boys with his manly inches dong way, and they fly in the air very high, only to fall by the side of the river Hallelujah, the river of joy, and they die. Good scoop by. Only one more left, cried Fried with gases and pooping in his trousers. Even though there's only one maniacal left, they are impossibly disprepared. That one is the most viciously anally raping monster of all Dutch Jamaica. He never lancers, he takes it all and swallows the pussy. That's why he is a leader. Worse than that, the car smells is horrified by the vomit, clotted blood, and proliferating homophobic parasites. Most of the water contained inside these wasteful fluids got evaporated with the mad race to life against Rudy boys, so the vomit, blood, and poo impregnated on the skin and clothes of the Scooby Nang, leaving an utterly abysmal stench of rotten elephant corpses humping with half-raped pregnant hyenas. Velma can't even move her body because it's covered with a warm-baked vomit pap. At least she can't catch a cold or a could or swine flu. But the worst is gonna come. The Rudy leader is approaching, his machine gun mounted on his motor bicycle, and is rendering its aim to the head of our heroes. What gang of Scompy is Gota do? Daphne, you must act. Now raises the question Fred, and Daphne clearly knows what he talks about. No, I cannot, she screams with yelled lungs. Yes, you must, Daphne, or else the gang will get butt raped. And she falls into tears of unglory. The destiny of the cliché depends on her attitude towards animalistic fellatio. If she does it, if she, for only this moment, do what must be done to save all people, all the therapy sessions, all the talks and self-discovery she did after abortion trauma would mean nothing. She thinks, oh lordy, why all it? Why you inflict more pain in my heart? Does I deserve to be a hooker to fortune? This burden is all mostly self-romantic. I shall what to do. The gang looks at her vomit-covered, fading pale skin. She blinks those emerald eyes with difficulty because pigeon poo stuck on her eyelashes. But the will is there. Only a fried hand is needed in this moment of doubts, in this moment of hesitation. Fred goes with his left moral hand to her shoulder, and then Scooby with his tongue, and then Shaggy with his cramped hand to crack. Then the farted Velma puts her hand on Daphne's boobies. Everyone is with her. Everyone he shows the love, show that they will forever be by her side. Gang, says Daphne between tears of sorrow, but happy at the same time. I love you all, and I will never give up. And Daphne strongly reunite forces with what must be done. Action Schwarzenegger Rambo music rolls. She jumps on the front seat and everyone stays again on position. Velma is at it already with face and ass. Shaggy straightens his dick inside Scooby's mouth. Scooby shoved deeper the dong inside Velma, and now Daphne crouches on the car floor. She pulls off her skirt, revealing her limpidious ass. Fred put thumb inside it. She then prepares the mouth and bite Scooby-Doo's hairy nuts. Yes, Daphne, battle cries Fred. Now go and suck these balls till they bleed the glory of America. The girl starts the fast swallowing moment, sucking, swallowing, and spitting out the Scooby ball sack. She repeats it at 1 hertz frequency and accelerates to 30 hertz per second and going up. It's turning so fast the guys are now measuring it in horsepower per second. She is a Michael Phelps of the ball-sucking sport. And now 300 HPV. Oh. Scooby-Doo, moans Scooby-Doo with all the suckery on his avoid elements of pleasure. His dong juices are fermenting inside his pulsing dog nuts, and his eyeballs are rolling up in ballot convulsion, lustful gorgonpisia. Yes, Daphne goes more as he is readying the cannon, utters Fred, giving straining for that girl to keep up to the great Quinup's ejaculations of the Egypt. However, the Rudy Boy leader already aimed the gun and he shoots. A plethora of cocaine crack holding sacks covered with hobos' frozen sperm gets fired at the gang with such a ludicrous speed, even Dark Helmet would have his brains melted by that furious fast, and starts to dodger every one of the shower to superlative malady-inducing projectiles. But it's all too much, and he can't keep this till forever, so he cries, "Fast, Scooby, come!" Scooby is feeling the cum coming very more, and his mouth is slobbering with ultimate luxury over Shaggy's swollen mega dick, but Shaggy is a coward man of principles. He feels his doggy companion cannot aim correctly his massive dong to shoot the Rudy bastard, and will doom all of them to fate of eternal damnation in the cum pools of hell. So his bowels get loosened. Act, Shaggy cries in utter desperation. Shaggy already feeling the dung penetrating in her nose. You is poofing and splorshes. A buttery river of fumigating shit lava explodes out of Shaggy's orc's ass, corrupting his anal flesh scars and washing Velma with a shower of malevolent colon cannonballs that hit her nose and spreads all over the gang's car with the power of thousands of megatons of hippopotamus fart arses. Everyone screams, everyone getting totally subdued by that stinking mass of black morgue mojo. But Daphne, she maintained the flux of suck, spit, and now reached over 700 horsepower. Scooby-Doo balls are blackishly purple like the molten core of sun, and it lights like a hot coal, getting masturbated by thousands of horny gorillas. His climax arrives. I will gonna come, screams Scooby. Daphne immediately get out, giving the cue to Shaggy, Scooby innermost find of heart. Okay, Shaggy, shoot to kill, and Shaggy gets hold of Scooby mighty power canor and aimed at the invading Rudy leader. Die American, screams the Rudy leader, and then an eruption of white mighty thunderball of Dogcom explodes in the face of the Rudy boy, launching him to thousands of miles in the outward starry night of Barb Marley's land. The power of the fuck juice is so strong it disroots the dreadlock user's skin, making vaginal holes in the middle of his murder belly and trespassing through his poppy-filled brain, exploding him into a cataract of bloody messed guts of marijuana-pooped-filled bowels. A shower of displeased Rudy body waste and sadly clamoring visceral walls over the Scooby Gang's Mystery Inc. van, and the Scooby Gang rejoices. They are all tired, the car is all trash, Shaggy's ass is corrupted, Fred's thumb got amputated by Daphne's anal contractions, Velma's lungs got filled with colon dweller's waste, and Scooby-Doo's balls evaporated, but they are together. Everyone gets a seat in the middle of the cornucopia of decadence and blasphemy. Mystery Inc. engines are roaring still. Fred looked to the gas tank. It's half full, not half empty. That's good enough. And they go to Kingston. No one says a word, but they all know that friendship is all that matters. The end. Prologue. After a long time, the gang went their way. An echo from the sky could be heard. It was the Rudy leader's scream. His last words, "Damn meddling kids." The end 2. The author 2. Hi people again. Liked? If so, tell me. I'm seriously thinking of doing a multi-chapter for the story. It will continue from where it stopped when they arrive King's Store. It could unfold even into an world-traveling trip through the most beautiful acorns of the beautiful plant Earth. So just review and tell me your feelings. Goodbye.
That was disturbing, huh? This last story is... Oh God. Oh God. Well, bye.
Oh geez. Another one. Even the creepy voice is creeped out by it. Let's take a look at the final story. Doug got abducted. Here's the fanfiction.net info. It's Doug. It's rated M. It's English. It's mystery tragedy. It has 1 chapter and it has over 2,000 words and 3 reviews. Let's begin. The author. Doug and character are not mine and I don't make money with them. Doug got abducted. Doug got abducted. The aliens made terrible experiments with him, torturing that poor young soul that had no big expectations in his life. The aliens were cruel and vicious, not forgiving even a defenseless idiot like Doug. He just wanted to go home and find Patty to look at and feel the passion. But that was a distant dream for the boy now tied to a cold and shrewd bed-like platform. Probes got inserted in all of his orificals, collecting data from the evil plans of those unnatural invaders. As Doug got examined, drills started to perforate his frail skin. He was lucky because the alien technology advanced to a level where no blood could be spilt from the body by the surgery equipments. However, the did no anesthesia, so Doug's nerves were throbbing and trying to move out of his flesh to escape the torment and lacerating pain inflicted on them. Doug's eyeballs were red, the veins got expanded, and his nails got black. He was feeling the death approaching, the death grasping his hand to take him away from that sorrowness. The hand of death was cold, was bland, was very sad and dark. And then, "Wake up, Doug. Was it was a dream?" said Doug, opening his eyes to try to make sense of it all. He looked around. He was in his bedroom. He looked at his skin. It was normal. No cuts, no holes, nothing. He felt relieved. "Doug, you will be late for school. I'm going, Mom." Doug went downstairs, racing against time to not lose the bus. He just snatched a piece of cake and gulped a soda. "Goodbye, parents. Goodbye, son." Doug ran fast and got to the bus on time. He couldn't keep that nightmare out of his mind. It was so real, so truthful. He never had such a horrendous dream before. He had Rue tell that to Skeeter. The bus arrived at the school, and the first person Doug saw was Patty Mayonnaise. She was beautiful as always, wore a very mini skirt. Doug got out of the bus and looked at her. Her legs were shining. She probably rubbed a skin cream to make her flesh so appeasing or appetizing. And her chest, it was bigger than normal. Could it be the bra? Doug was getting very excited because he was entering the puberty. His member turned from flaccid to hard, and his eyes were fixed on Patty's body. Never before was she so tasty. Doug felt his member muscles moving and throbbing. Could it be he can launch the juice in his penis? It would be a shame. Everyone will laugh at him. And then, when it was going to get out to wet his underwear, something different went out. A big flash of laser got ejected from his member. It was hot and burned a hole in his pants. He was not understanding all of that. He felt uncontrolled in trying to stop it, but it was useless. The death razor ray shot straight into Patty's eyes, penetrating her brain and exploding it into 1,000 pieces. Blood flew all over the school, burning the student's skin because the blood was boiling with the high temperature. Skeeter was there, and his hand got hit by a glob of mortal blood. It instantly dissolved, exposing his bay bones that were quickly eaten by passing starving pit bulls. They attacked Skeeter without mercy, opening his chest and devouring his innards. Doug was looking completely shocked, the laceration of his best friend. The mayhem continued because Doug's ass expelled hundreds of tentacles filled with sharp razor blades. There were a lot of them, moving frantically, picketing the unlucky students running around. One of them was Chalky's Studebaker. A tentacle lifted him in the air, and other two started to rub his body violently, cutting and tucking his skin. The bleeding was insane. He was losing the blood very fast because the tentacles were inexperienced. One of them entered Chalky's ass and started to move in and out, crushing his bowels. A puddle of shit got ejected from Chalky's anus because he lost bowel control. Chalky's eyes rolled up in anguish. "God," he said, "kill me, please." But God could not hear him. He was alone, and no one would help him in his last hours of life. Two tentacles then turned to his face. They marked his eyes and very fastly entered his skull through the eye socket, exploding them all in all directions. Chalky's pain was so strong he started to convulse, but the tentacles would not kill him. Not yet. They started to rub and thrust Chalky's brain, causing strokes. Then them found his center of control, and they had total control over Chalky's semi-dead body. All of his movements were under control of the tentacles, but Chalky's was still conscious, but nothing could be done. The tentacles controlled Chalky's body, and he moved to BB Bluff. She was completely frightened and the ground in fetal position. She saw the state in which Chalky had been submitted and put her hands on her mouth. She screamed so much her vocal cords collapsed. She got mute. Chalky's body grabbed her arms and ripped them of BB's body. She immediately flew to the ground As blood got pulsed out by the wounds, Chucky picked her bra and slashed it, revealing the purple Latinatic tits of that girl. He put his mouth there and started to chew on he boobs, puncturing marks all over them. She tried to escape, but 3 other tentacles were holding her on place. Chucky's put his penis off and proceeded to insert it in her vagina. It was very flabby because she lost her virginity at kindergarten. The tentacles got very upset. They wanted a virgin, not a pestilent, infected whore. But nevertheless, Chucky continued the penetration. With his hands, he pulled her labia majora while thrusting the penis. It was so flaccid, it could be pulled 50 centimeters. Even though Chucky was being controlled and was almost dead, he was liking. It's a shame he is now blind and can't see that foul body he is now ucking. The body he lusted for so many years. Bibi never looked at him in the 1st grade. She just wanted to hang out with the grown-up motorcycle rebel leaders. A sportsman like him couldn't satisfy her. He straightened to smile and took advantage of the situation. Because of Chucky's evilness, the tentacles let him go. They could not control a strong, evil boy like him, so they let him in peace, raping Bibi. Chucky put his index fingers inside Bibi's nostrils and started to rotate them to collect some mucus. He flavored them and got more excited and started to thrust harder and harder until Bibi's eyeballs got ejected from her skull. The pressure was too much. Chucky then ejaculated a insidious cum full of venereal diseases inside Bibi, but that was not a problem for her. She had AIDS since the 3rd grade. Doug was still shocked and went to see Patty's dead corpse. Her head was unrecognizable. Brains and veins and artery were hanging out. Amazingly, her heart was still pulsation. Doug thought, hey, if the heart is on, she is still alive. What if I declare my love to her? Doug thought a bit and said, Patty, even though you cannot her because your tympanum is at the school ceiling, I must say that I love you. And he kissed her jaw passionately, because the upper part of her mouth were nowhere to be found. He licked her black tongue. It was black because of the extreme heat, and it got roasted. Doug didn't care about the horrible smell. That was the first time he was kissing the love of his life. However, he had to stop because the blood was flowing from her esophagus and filling the jaw. That doesn't matter. The kiss already happened. It's a shame her eyes were splattered all over the school courtyard, but Doug could imagine them while looking to her spinal cord coming out of her back. The tentacles hanging out of Doug's butt were still moving, doing what they wanted to do. Mr. Bone was standing at the door trying to call the police from his cell phone, but the tentacles saw it. They grabbed him and proceeded to rip apart his ears, his eyes, his noses, and his mouth. Only a disfigured piece of bloody meat was left over his neck. He walked the school lawn completely oblivious of what was happening. At least the tentacles had the compassion to let his hair alone. Skeeter was still alive, and the dog went away with his innards. He got on for trying to drag his body to hide himself inside the school, but someone was there, looking. It was Roger Klotz. He saw Skeeter and approached. "What's up, Skeeter? Are you hungry?" "Oh, I forgot. You have no stomach. Ha ha ha." "Roger, save me," cried Skeeter, trying to grab Roger's pants. Roger kicked Skeeter's face, breaking his jaw and shattering all of his teeth. A pool of blood was forming beneath him because his torso was all open. Roger pulled his clothes off, and a hard and enormous penis appeared. Roger's dick was green, veins, hairy, and disgusting. He never washed it. Roger bent, get on his knees, and ripped Skeeter's shorts, revealing a clean and black-green butt. How can it be black and green? It was full of candy and lollipops remains. Skeeter had an obsession with sweets, so he tried to have them all the time, even inside his anus. Because of this, a colony of ants were dwelling inside his bowels. The stinky smell was atrocious because dead bodies of insects got left there by the ants. Roger was so smudgy individual he didn't care. He put his penis inside Skeeter's rotten ass and started to fuck him viciously. The candy was a very bad lube because of its stickiness. Soon after the penetration, Roger's penis skin got bruised. The friction was heating it at dangerous levels, but he couldn't stop. His pleasure was maximum, and Skeeter was moaning like a dog in a puddle of vomit. Skeeter was trying to talk, but the broken jaw would not let him. His face got numb, and an acute pain was reaching his brain. It was like it was going to explode that minute. Jiz's nose started to bleed. His eyes got frenzy, and he vomited blood and guts on the ground. Roger looked and felt more excited and thrusted harder and harder and harder. And then he cummed a black toxic cum inside Skeeter. His cum was so polluted it started to burn Roger's own penis, and to aggravate the situation, no skin was left on his dong. Because of the friction, the skin got ripped from the flesh, and the muscle are visible on his penis. It is bleeding, and patches of muscle are starting to fall. It got tainted, and Roger will never use it again. But he will not need. The gangrene spread all over his pelvis. Blisters formed and burst, liberating putrid, unholy pus inside Skeeter's corroded anus. They start to convulse, and they die. Chalky was still fucking BB. Her lacerated boobs were being consumed by vermin and parasites. Chalky, trying to control the girl, punched her in the belly so much her liver was teared. The contents of her cirrhosis-ridden liver flowed from her tits. She smoked a lot in the 4th grade, and now she is paying the consequences. Chalky got impotent, and his penis got flaccid, but he still tries to fuck her. But he is so tired he can't even stand on his knees. He falls down on his back, and BB uses this opportunity. She reaches for Chalky's penis with her mouth and bites it off, leaving a blood cavity full of chancre. She chews his penis in her mouth and swallow, but that was an error. The tentacles infected it, and now she is bloating like a flash and blood balloon. Her nails got ejected, and her fingers fell down. The extremities of her body are now decaying into a repulsive amorphous matter while she inflates. Her volume got very big, and the now destroyed skin can't take it any longer. He explodes in a mess of bones, shit, diseases, and cancer. While the serving boys and girls are being drilled by the tentacles, Doe can't wait anymore. He pulls his penis out of his pants and under Patty's dead vaginal cavity. She is still a virgin, so Doug drills her hymen, liberating a strew of menstruation putrid blood. Her vagina is tight, but his hard pull can't go through it all. The rigor mortis is disrupting his pleasure a bit because her uterus is as hard as a rock and he keeps hitting it frontal. But he continues. Nothing can stop him now. Doug tries to caress her skin, but it's cold and viscous. Even without head, Doug loves that girl's and wants to show how much. But the rigid muscles are spoiling the moment. Doug then get up and find a knife and proceeds to rip the muscles from her body so she will get soft and savor filled. One by one, Doug dragged out the muscles and the bones too. In the end process, Patty in pure skin, blood, veins, and organs. Her heart is still pounding. Doug grabs it and feels that this is the time. He rips of the aorta artery and blood starts to come out. Doug puts his penis inside Patty's heart through the aorta and starts to thrust it with much pleasure and lust. He never thought that to conquer the heart of a lady he had to put his dick inside it. But now Patty is his and no one can break their love again. After a while, Doug feels it coming. The pleasure juice is now flowing inside his dick with great splash. Pervade Patty's heart. Sedimenting the newfound passion, Doug is now a complete man. He made his transition to the adult world, and everything is good. The end.
With that all over with, it looks like you have completed the ComicsNix chat. Oh, wait. There is still one more here. It's a short one, though, and it's rated T.
Oh, come on. You said I was only supposed to read 3. Hello? Stupid fucking coward voice thing. Okay, let's take a look at this final story. At least it's rated T, and wow, it is pretty short. Okay, here's the fanfiction.net info. It's a crossover with Metroid and Tom and Jerry. It's rated T, it's English, it's humor parody, and it has like over 400 words and 2 reviews. Let's take a look. The author, hi, Metroid and Tom and Jerry are not mine and I don't make money with them. Never forget to let the cats stay at home. Samus Aran was drinking Galactic Milk Boom at the bar at the edge of Parlor Galaxy. She left her suit in the woman's locker because it's not good form drink with suit on. She was with a short dress showing her beautiful legs. A party was at the horizon, so she must stay good looking. After a while, a small mouse went through the bar's door. It was Jerry, and he was running from Tom. There were no small places to hide, but Jerry saw Samus, so he raced to her, climbing the stool she was seating, and entered her good-smelling woman pussy. I thought this was supposed to be rated, T. So, the mouse entering her pussy is not something you would see in a T-rated story. It's something you would see in an M-rated story. This person fails at the rating system. Samus took a scare and looked to see what happened. The frightened mouse was shaking and shy, hiding from the cat that entered that second at the bar. It was Tom, the cat. Samus knew the danger and didn't delay the small rodent. Tom was very angry and searched everywhere, looking for a clue where the mouse could possibly be. Samus had a hard time trying to hide Jerry because that shaking in her organ was causing tickles and she smirked with funny eyes. Tom entered the men's locker but no sign of Jerry. He then went to the women's locker. While he was there, Samus bought a small piece of cheese and put it inside her housed uterus. Jerry took it with great satisfaction and ate till his belly got full. Tom searched, and then found Samus' suit. He looked inside, but carelessly he activated it and got stuck inside. Luckily, he was in the right position, legs down and head up. Unlucky, he activated Samus' loneliness striker. It was a device prepared to make Samus feel comfortable. Tom didn't understood, and 2 small phallic objects appeared in the front and in the rear, at the pelvic region of the suit, where, coincidentally, Tom's puss ass was accommodated. The 2 phallic, metal, vibrating and shiny pieces tried to penetrate the poor cat. Tom got uneasy with all this strength run inside the suit, trying to fleet the evil pussy virginization contraptions. Meows and screams could be heard all the bar, and Samus went to check the strange occurrence in the locker. At the last possible moment, Samus deactivated the lust-seeking devices, freeing Tom from the inglorious butt-hurting fate. Tom was so scared he jumped at Samus, hugging her, trying to seek comfort while flickering in a despaired manner. Jerry was laughing his guts off, feeling relieved and avenged by the unhumanely assembled comfort machine. Samus felt herself a motherly figure to those pitiful animals. They were misguided and homeless. She decided, Mouse and Cat, you are going to live with me, and she took them home. Tom smiled and Jerry gnawed his nails. The hunt is just beginning. The end.
Well, that's it. You've completed the challenge. Bye.
Bye? That's all you can say? Where the hell are you? Find you, you stupid random voice making me... I'm sorry, I didn't know you were getting dressed. Okay, next time I will knock on Susan's door before I go barging in. Well, it looks like I completed this stupid challenge by this R1ing Master J5 person, whoever they are. My God, these fanfics were awful. Oh my God. I don't think I've read anything more disgusting than this in my entire life. These made Sin Dragon stories look like masterpieces, and that is saying a lot. That really is, especially coming from me. What the hell is with this what's this person called again? What are they called again? Oh my, whatever their name is. My God. Okay, let's talk about the first story with the Teletubbies and Harry Potter. It made no sense. Why the heck would the Teletubbies be working with Voldemort? And if Dumbledore knew this, why the heck did he send Snape to the Teletubbies in the first place? It didn't make any sense. And it didn't make any sense that because Lala lost her virginity that she would suddenly grow boobs. It doesn't work like that. Because if it worked like that, all virgins would not have boobs. They would all look like little girls forever. I mean, no, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. The second story was just bizarre. It was bizarre. It went all over the place. It contradicted itself a lot. I don't know what the heck the author was thinking when they wrote that one, but it was just all over the place. And it made no sense. It just didn't make any sense. It tried to have a plot, but it didn't really have much of a plot. It was just so jumbled and so over the top and gross. The third story was the worst of all. So Doug gets abducted by aliens, and they insert tentacles in his body that become activated when he's sexually turned on. And all the fucking that went on in the story was gross. The stuff with Chucky was stupid and made no sense. Saying that Bibi lost her virginity when she was in kindergarten? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I guess this person doesn't like Bibi then, I'm assuming. And then having Roger randomly fuck Skeeter made no sense. And it made no sense that Skeeter would still be alive after being attacked by the dogs. And it made no sense that Patty Mayonnaise's heart would still be beaten after having her head blown off. If your head gets blown off, you are dead. Dead, 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 dead. You are dead. 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 You cannot live if you do not have a head. It is true that when you cut a chicken's head off, it might still run around, but that doesn't mean it's alive. That's its nerves reacting. Let's see. See this? You squeeze right here. You can cause your hand to like move slightly. If you did this to a dead corpse, it would still do this. Does that mean the corpse is alive? No, they're still dead. And then the fact that Doug would fuck Patty after what happened to her made no sense. He's supposed to love this girl, and what does he do? He starts to fuck her corpse. And to add further insult, he mutilates her corpse so he can fit his penis inside of her. What the fuck? And then the final story, which I have to admit was the best one out of all of them, but it still had some issues. First of all, Jerry goes inside of Samus's crotch. And this is supposed to be rated T. Wrong rating. And you're implying to me that Samus has a pleasure section in her suit? Wouldn't that be distracting if you're trying to fight against bad guys and you're too busy masturbating while doing it? I would think that would be distracting. But still, they make panties for that, so I guess I shouldn't be too shocked. I mean, this story wasn't as bad compared to the other ones, but it was still pretty bad. And don't get me started on the grammar. The grammar was awful. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. Using the word them instead of then. Instead of putting down smiling, you put down smilling. Constantly spelling the main characters' names? What the fuck? What the fuck? These stories were awful, they were awful, they were shit, they were awful, 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 they were crap, awful, 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 Are you gonna be okay? Oh, I'm quite fine. Are you sure? Yes, I assure you, I'm quite fine. All right. Well, I'm the fanfic critic. I read it. You listen. And I need to take my medication. Don't worry, they won't kill me. They'll just knock me out and help me forget the pain, if you know what I mean. Well, if you take one of them, that's what they're supposed to do. I don't know what's going to happen if I take all of them, but oh well. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, why am I not surprised? It's a bloody fanfic. You read a bad fanfic, and then you... Oh, thank God she's still alive. Okay, let's get you off to the hospital. Bloody imbecile. Hey, well, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about me. 5 seconds later, you're flying on the floor dead, almost. Okay. R1 Master J5, whatever your name is, if you send the fanfic critic any more of your little challenges, I will personally hunt you down and kill you myself. I have a hard enough time trying to make sure that she doesn't commit suicide, and people like you are not helping things at all. Well, she's the fanfic critic. She reads it, you listen. I'm Susan, and I need to get her to the hospital. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go. The least I can do is turn this camera